and Natural Hair Salon, located at 18070 Mount Elliott Street. Our new salon is spacious with adequate parking, Wi-Fi, and all great state-of-the-art salon equipment. Come meet your local hair braiders and natural hair care specialists, and check out our many hair services such as hair treatment, box braids, cornrows, tree braids, cabana children's braids, natural braids, light stitching, baby twists, gutter blocks, updos, school weaves, and more. Please feel free to visit us on the web at www.wizardsbraids.com or call 313-826-0498. Here at Wizards Braids, we offer exceptional care for exceptional care. We look forward to seeing you. Wizards Braids 2 is a proud recipient of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
Now you can watch WHBR TV 33 on Fire Stick. Catch all of your favorites. Stay informed. Don't miss a minute of your favorite talk show. Call, text, tweet, post. WHBR TV 33 is worldwide on Fire Stick. For more information, go to FirestickTVNetwork.com or call us at 313-868-6612. WHBR TV 33 of Watkins Broadcasting Company. We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild the city. We're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-866-0000, the local number. Again, 313-866-0000, the corporate Unity and Rebuilding Fund. You're watching WHBS, Highland Park, Detroit. FM 88.1 WHBR, Highland Park, WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHBF, its affiliates, management, or sponsors. Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scriptures and not?
This conference is being recorded. The recording has started.
And ever tested that when you feel someone you may have a different view than your own, then let's talk to one another. Let's reason with one another. Scriptural Discussion is Son of Man. A live broadcast every Sunday at 12 on TV 33. FM 88.1 Demonstration Garrett and Comcast Cable. So why don't you call and let's discuss the Holy Bible and its one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and the true evil. So tune in to Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Sunday at 12 right here on TV 33, FM 88.1 Demonstration Garrett and Comcast Cable. You can call in live on the air at area code 868-43, 868-0342, and 868-0351. Of course, the area code is 313. That's 313-868-4342, 868-0342, and 868-0351. And now let's go live to the Scriptural Discussion with Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for the true understanding of the Word of God. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salaam Alaikum. I want to open up the forum at this time, which is my prerogative to do. Before I began class with subject matter, I want to get all of you a chance that disagree with something that you have heard us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the messengers of God. Something that you have heard us say as I'm the one that all of them told you they would be with when they was no longer present in the bodies that they came in. So all of them were actually speaking for me. That's why the messenger, when he was talking about atoms, he said, we say an atom is 1/10,000th of one. As the book says, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints. On his head are many crowns. All of it is pointing you to me. People get offended because they wanted to, thank you, they wanted to continue to look at the black man as nothing. Well, that's what everything is before God decided to make something out of it. First had to become nothing. The closest to nothing that a human being gets is a child. Because a child in the state that a child's supposed to be in, I remember they used to say when I was growing up, if I was sitting in a room, you know, I was a talkative little fella. I guess you know that. And so the old people, somebody would inevitably either threaten me or kind of slap my mouth. Say children should be seen and not heard. And I didn't understand that until, you know, I didn't have to grow this old to understand it. But when grown people talking, children shut up unless the child is spoken to and asked to say something. You ain't got no business dipping in grown people's conversation. The only people that can interrupt grown people's conversation is other grown people. If a child want to say something, you need to get permission before you say anything. And I'm gonna tell you, most time they ain't gonna give you permission because they want you to understand that when you're a child, you conduct yourself as a child. Otherwise, how you gonna know how to raise your children? What you think? This is all done for some kind of people on an ego trip because they make a child act like a child? Well, where's the child going to learn how to raise their own children except by the example that they were set from their parents? Oh, but that's right. Y'all a generation that dishonor your father and your mother. That's right. I forgot who I was talking to. The Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall he have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For every one is an hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaks folly. You know, another word for folly is stupidity. I ain't gonna say foolishness, because that's actually, it means that too, but I need to make you understand it means that they speak stupidly. Can't even get you to stop throwing trash on your own street. You're just that nasty. People that don't care how they look, they don't care how they act. You ought to be embarrassed for people to come into a town where ain't nobody but black people everywhere you look. And you look around you, it's nasty. And you're not even ashamed. Get upset when somebody tell you, hey man, let's get up and clean this up. Who you supposed to be? No, nigga, who you supposed to be? A man get insulted because you say, let's clean up? Remember I told you that what Donald Trump now was doing? The major ones that it affected in the most adverse way was black people and poor white people. The two that don't nobody care nothing about. And they keep us ignorant. That way they can keep us blaming all our problems on each other and not realize that the rest of them done left us there just fighting and killing each other and messing over each other while they messing over both of us. Most of you poor white people, you blame all your problems on people look like me, as if we had some power to do something to you. Here you see your people shooting my people down, jailing my people, doing whatever they please to my people, and you don't see my people able to defend themselves against that. And yet somehow you done convinced yourself that my people is a danger to you, and the reason you poor and ain't got nothing. You poor and ain't got nothing because all them wealthy people that look like you don't give a damn about you. Just like a lot of them who got plenty of money and look like me don't give a damn about me. It's the same mind. It's just in different colors. It's like the same person putting on a different color suit and you think all of a sudden it's a different person. The one thing I agree with W.D. Muhammad on, and I know Allah put him there to tell me some things, for he sure said the truth when he said this. He said the devil wears colors like you do clothes. Now, I wasn't even in there and I heard that. No, I didn't ever follow him. But I've heard people say things that he said. And I say, that's right. Let me know that the devil is a mind. A mind that makes evil look like it's okay. That's why he teach you to give people a devil name. Nickname means devil name. You do know that, right? You look at the term Old Nick, that's another name for the devil. It's in the dictionary. Do you ever you got all them books in your house? Do you ever open them? You say things and don't know what you're saying. You just quote what you heard somebody say, and somebody asks you what that word mean. What that mean? What do you mean? What it mean? That's just your way of saying you don't know what it means and get mad because now somebody done caught you saying something you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, you say that's all he do is fuss. No, that's all I do is teach. I'm teaching you right now. Have you ever heard a teacher that was worth their salt that didn't take seriously what they were saying? And oftentimes they'd be talking and it sound like they, really fussing or something, depending on what they're talking about. But they wanted to wise you up. I had some strict teachers when I was growing up. Mr. Earl and Mr. McGee, they made me a straight A student with the help of that paddle. I told you I wasn't no model child. I was an all boy. Period. Just whatever I could get away with, I did it like other little boys. Foolishness bound up in the bosom of a child, but that paddle will drive it from you, brother. You play out there on the schoolyard. In the classroom, this is where learning takes place. And you find a stump to fit your rump over there, and you sit down and you listen to what I'm saying. Get your behind over there to your chair. That's the way they talk to me. I didn't say I'm going to go home and tell my daddy. Because if I'd have went home and told my daddy, he'd have got on me right then and said, I didn't send you up there for you to be giving them teachers a hard time. Come here, boy. And then I got it again. So I had to beg them, don't send no note home to my daddy. Because if they gave me a note, I had to take it home. I wasn't going to not take it because they're going to check. Then I get a whooping for that. So I didn't want to have to take no note home. So I learned what they were trying to share with me. Now I'm glad I did. I can read. I can write. It's like me and brother had a good laugh. One of the brothers, he said, you know that brother said that he can write certain languages, but he can't speak them. And I told him, I said, brother, I said, if you don't know what you're writing, you ain't writing. And me and him laughed. He said, you right, because I can write all that. I told him, I can draw. I can copy Arabic. You give me time, I'll sit down there and write it just like I see it in the book here. But I don't know what I'm writing. So I don't know if the man who wrote that knew what he was writing. I can't verify that the Arabic is correct. All I can do is go over here to the English. Now, I know I can write English. Yes. Now, I can understand being able to speak some languages that you can't write or read. Because people in America, we for the first 300 years of our imprisonment here, we were speaking English and couldn't read it. Well, we spoke as, we had a form of English and we couldn't read, couldn't write. My daddy couldn't read and write, but he could speak the language. Well, I can understand being able to speak it and not write it. But I can't understand being able to write it and not speak it, because in order to write it, if you're thinking about what you're writing, then you speaking it in your mind. I told you, I'm a long way from being a person that you can just tell something to, and because it may look like it makes sense. That ain't the way I don't roll like that. You can't give me no mirage and tell me it's water. No. No, I know the real thing from something that ain't real. If I don't know the real thing, then I'm just like you. The devil gonna mislead me too. I got to know the real thing. And let me put it in proper perspective. I have to know how to find out and how to check whether something is real or not. I don't just before know everything, but Allah have made me of a quick understanding of how to check stuff. That's the beauty of teaching me that Islam goes as far back as the root of mathematics. The messenger taught me that. He said, Islam is equally true as mathematics, and mathematics is equally true as Islam. Why? Because everything of truth, just like everything of math, you can check your answer to make sure that it all adds up, that it's true. Do you understand? In Islam, it's the same. There's no truth that you speaking that can't be proven. If you can't prove it, how can you say it's the truth? That's where the word I believe it came from. We made allowance for not knowing things, and we say, well, then I believe that this is true. But long as you just believe in it, then it's open for argument. I hear you. Why you think I let people? You can't do nothing but either believe or disbelieve that I'm the Son of Man. You don't know if I'm the Son of Man or not. The only one that knows I'm the Son of Man is me and the one who with me. No man know who the Son is but the Father, and no man know who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. Everybody else, you either believe or you disbelieve. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And the more I study these things, that's why I told you to remind me next time I get ready to throw somebody in hell. Remind me that I said I wasn't going to be so quick to do that no more. Because I'm supposed to be trying to save these people. You're going to have to really go some to get me to decide that you belong in hell. At this time. Because salvation is what I'm here to offer you right now. It's like I spoke to one of the representatives of the Wayne County. I think he's Wayne County Commissioner, and Sabri. And they was, she was saying that their people don't have to lose their homes. And there are things set up that, that if you can show that, you've been behind and show that you'll be able to catch up, they can work out something with you. So you don't have to lose your home and stuff. And I thought that was that was really, really good. And I'll bring you the information as soon as I have the solid thing. I will read it to you. And we call the person who handles that, and they're supposed to be getting it to Sister Charlene, and then she will forward it to Brother Jabbar, who will print it out for me to read it. And it's nice to see mercy being shown to people. Yeah, I mean, how can you be poor and not have mercy on poor people? And you know, that's just the way people in this world are. You so wicked, you so corrupt, that even though your neighbor is just as poor as you try to figure out a way to beat them out of something. You want to steal something from them. You talk about pouring water on a drowning man? And then you got nerve enough to be sitting up in church talking about you shouting and thank you, Jesus. You know why Allah let us experience want and poverty and all of these things? To see what kind of heart you got. You notice, it's not I bet you it's very few of you all who wealthy, who didn't start off poor. I mean, if you started off poor, I bet you used to say things like, all these people got all this money and they don't help nobody. How could they do that? Now you know how, because you're doing it. White people who wealthy, you think I don't know what you've been up to? I know what all y'all been up to. You don't forget who made you, didn't you? You ain't springing no surprise on God. The way you keep the rest of the people down while you up is you let some get up and then you read them the riot act. And you don't have to really threaten them too much. You just said, look, you don't want to go back amongst them. That's all they're going to be doing is begging you. And before you know it, you're going to be broke again. And, you know, a man that ain't used to having nothing, when he finally get a little something, he don't never want to lose it. He don't want to go back. So it don't take much to frighten him into not trying to help his people. And I'll tell you who to help. I'll tell you when it's time to help somebody. And that's why you and me ain't got none of them number. Oh, man. It is really something the way people run game on us, on the masses of the people. But look who's out here with the masses of the people now. And I'm going to tell them everything you've been doing.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
You have a comment from Brother Reginald.
Yes, sir.
And he said, it seems Donald Trump is listening to you because he's saying you can get credit from grocery stores.
I know all of them listening, bro. The devil steal the hearing. Slipping, listening. And now all of a sudden, what do he know about the corner grocery store? This man ain't never had to shop at no corner grocery store. It just so happened I spoke about it the other night. And now he talking about it, which is fine. Let me explain something to you. If he would tell the people what I told them, that'd be fine with me. I just want to see the people get help. But then if he tell them that, then that shutdown won't mean nothing. because the banks will carry them. I mean, it ain't like they try to tell that lie about the people are working for nothing. They're not working for nothing. When they put the hours in, the government owes them that money. So all the renters, all of the mortgage companies and whatnot, all they have to do is say, okay, don't worry about it. When they pay you, it ain't like you was already behind. You wasn't behind. So I know you've been handling your bills. So when you get the lump sum that they owe you, then you can pay us our lump sum, and everybody can be happy. Everything lovely, right? And, don't have to be no corner store. I just brought up the corner store to show you that Walmart and all of them, we know Walmart and them don't do no credit like that. But governments don't do no shutdown like this either. So everybody doing stuff they don't normally do. So there are mitigating circumstances that make it proper for the Entergy and all of the power companies and all of that. You lighten up on these people. You lighten up on your brothers and sisters who living from check to check and been paying their bills, and now they done, while securing your nation. Let me show you who this is. I told you who it was hitting, and see they done showed it on the news now. Let me show you.
Are about to miss a second pay period. Plus, a Senate committee delivers a subpoena for Michael Cohen, the man who pleaded guilty at her wake and funeral in Brooklyn. She leaves to have them here with us, helping this country live up to its ideal of greatness. Mi profundo pésame a la familia Lopez. That's tonight's last word. The 11th hour with Brian Williams starts now. Tonight, after two failed Senate votes, the two leaders, McConnell and Schumer, trying to talk through a deal to end the shutdown. And at the White House, the president, on the losing end of this right now, says he has alternatives if they don't include wall funding. As we approach day 35 of the shutdown, federal workers who never dreamed they'd need to rely on a food bank are about to...
What is it? You all pardon me a moment. But these ain't homeless people. Those are people who've been working in federal facilities like airports and stuff to keep you and me safe. Those jobs are never supposed to shut down. And look at that.
It's a second. Never dreamed they'd need to rely on a food bank are about to... The president, on the losing end of this right now, says he has alternatives if they don't include wall funding. As we approach day 35 of the shutdown, federal workers who never dreamed they'd need to rely on a food bank are about to miss a second pay period. Plus, a Senate...
The last people that thought they would ever have to be standing in line to get some food other than a supermarket was the people who work for the federal government, whose job security is as long as the government exists, they gonna have that job. They don't make no lot of money. And yet the job that they do, the jobs that they do are some of the most important jobs there is in this terrible and dangerous day and time. So just because the president stabbed him in the back, that don't mean we got to follow suit. Can't no one man, can't no group of men overthrow this government, which is actually the people, unless they get you to overthrow yourself. You know, if you can convince a person to let themselves drown, even when they know how to swim, if you can convince them that it's hopeless and, you know, they're just going to give up and drown. That's what the lesson of Job was with his wife. The devil slid up next to her and told her, tell him he need to just go and cuss God and die. And when she told Job, you know, the devil took everything from him, got him blisters and stuff all on him. Now he was supposed to give up, you see. But Job knew something. He knew that everything he had, God had gave it to him. And he gave it to him because he believed in God. Well, what changed? Do you still believe in God? Well, if you still believe in God, then wait on him to give it back to you. Maybe this is a trial for you. But no, I'm not going to cuss God and die. That's what you're supposed to say. You mean to tell me the country that offered so much hope to the rest of the world, people was trying to get here and losing their lives trying to get here in unseaworthy boats and everything else, trying to get to a place called the United States of America. And you mean to tell me you gave all that hope to all these other people and now you done lost hope in yourself? That's what it amounts to. It's easy to fix this problem. I remember when we first made you, white people, and put that corrupt mind in you, the lesson that Yaqub gave was, he said, now when you become white, when you become unalike, and he talking to black people. He never saw a white man. But he said to them, when you become unalike. So even white people, he understood that's us. It's black people. Do you understand? And he said, you go back to the original people, because ain't no original white people. They came out of our semen. And ain't no original brown people. The only original man is the black man. Everybody else came out of the black man. Is anybody arguing that? Do you want to argue and talk about that? It's just like when you talk about England being an island nation. How'd you get on that island? See? No, ain't nobody gonna argue. Ain't nothing to argue about. But anyway, so he told him, he said, you go back, you rent rooms from the original people. And tell your wives and your children when they come down, when they come out and meet the neighbors the next day, tell them that they heard their neighbor there talking about them bad. And, and once you have them fighting amongst themselves, said then tell them to let you mediate a solution. And if they let you mediate, you can rule both of them. And so they had got the original people fussing and fighting amongst themselves, and the original people, some of them went in and talked to the king. They said, we can't seem to get along with each other. And the king asked him, how long has this been going on? And he said, for about 6 months. And the king asked him, how long have the strangers been among us? And they said, about 6 months. The king said, well, that's your problem. How long things been haywire? I mean, when Barack Obama was president, you didn't hardly hear no things about no craziness. But as a matter of fact, they start calling him No Drama Obama. Right? And when did all this drama start? How long has it been going on? Come on, talk back to me. Talk back to me. About a couple of years. I mean, the FBI being under attack. I mean, the Rush Limbaugh and all them. Rush Limbaugh's a recovering drug head. Since when did he become a spokesperson to listen to? What you know about Ann Coulter? Other than that, she's just a racist, bigoted white woman. For the past 2 years, America has been a completely different nation. What happened? The Grover Norquist pledge got what he finally wanted, which was he got his people in place in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. And he said, now all we need is to elect a Republican with good dexterity. We don't need no fearless leader. We just need somebody with good dexterity that can sign what we put in front of him. In other words, we need a puppet. Now, who is the we? You notice he's standing up there saying we to a crowd of people out there. That's the way the slave master used to talk to us. John, we got to get our crops in. Oh, well, somehow we didn't know that we wasn't in that we. Look at Mitch McConnell. And he's the Senate Majority Leader. Whenever the Senate of the United States didn't like something that the president was doing, they just overrid him. They just overrode him. They didn't have to go back and forth with him to remind him that, man, you ain't no king in here. Huh? America is a nation that is a government of, for, and by the people. Not by the president. Then why all of a sudden now Mitch McConnell acting like he don't know what to do? These people ain't got no business suffering. The trouble started when Trump became president. And you got a chance to see things that you never dreamed you would see coming out of the House of Representatives and the Senate. With them, all them folks done signed a promissory note. This is the question that they need to be asked. Oh, I wish the FBI would bring me in there and let me have them question these traitors. And what did you get for signing that pledge? I heard Grover Norquist say you get to govern. I remember when I was over in Nam, this white boy, but he was cool because I learned a lot from Ainsworth. He remember I was a teenager when I was in Vietnam, and Ainsworth was around in his 30s. We called him old man, but I put up the power. The brothers. That's the way we used to. When we see one another, we just throw the power sign up, ball up fist and do like that. And so I did it one day, and Ainsworth did this. And I said, "Black power, man." And he said, "Under white control." And I thought about it. I said, that sure is the truth. That's what it's been. Our power have been controlled by white people. Well, Trump showed you that his power is under somebody else's control. So also is Mitch McConnell and all them sycophants that love money more than they love their country. What happens to the money if the country ceases to exist? If the government that prints that money cease to exist, what happened to the Confederacy, to the Confederate dollar and the Confederate money when they lost that war? It became worthless. Now here these fools selling their country out, helping to dismantle their own government for $1 that ain't gonna be worth nothing if it ain't no United States. Now, is that dumb or what? But that's what happens when you lose it. And I told you, you done lost it. The kingdom has been taken from you. And it's been given to a nation that will bring forth the fruits thereof. Why you think that Jesus told you? He wasn't talking about he was the one giving it to you. He said, no, fear not, little flock. It is your Father's own good pleasure to give you the kingdom. You see? So I'll say to all of you, you notice when you saw them people at with TSA and all in place, you notice there was black and white people there getting bags of food. Now I asked the skinheads in the Klan, is that our fault? Here Donald Trump even read, to show you how stupid he think you are. He stood up and read the snake. And he said, wow, this is really something. Because he know what he got planned for you. At least he knew what he was going to do to you. And you supported him and put him in there. And now you're trying to figure out, well, he's hurting. He's going after the niggers. I saw more than niggers in that line. And Donald Trump don't care nothing about you. All the niggers. You gonna tell me is poor white trash a term of endearment? I mean, maybe it's a term of endearment. Is that what it is? Well, that's a hell of a term to call somebody that look like you. Trash. You know, maybe, you know, you can, I'm just trying to wake you up. That's all. You know, you think that, I mean, they put stuff in movies that you wouldn't believe because they know you don't pay no attention. I mean, look how long the white man was right. You don't hardly hear him say it no more. But I remember everywhere you go, and black people was even saying it. Well, speak of the devil. And we didn't know what we were saying. But the white man knew. And he'd always laugh when he said it. Till we found out that that's the truth. Then he don't say it no more. When last time you heard somebody use that term? Bane used it in Batman Rises, Dark Knight Rises. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Is that what's up? You don't understand what the term is. Whenever you are saying something using words of if you're quoting a Shakespeare, then as you speak of Shakespeare, Shakespeare appears. You are showing people Shakespeare. And when you open your mouth speaking the words of the devil appears in you. You see?
So, man, Nathaniel wanted to get your opinion on Donald Trump being a puppet for the Zionist Jews.
I don't know why y'all keep on talking about the Jews like they. I mean, look, man. In the first place, the Jews are just a little piece of the puzzle. Those who call themselves Jews. That's just white people. And how is he a puppet of them? No, he's more a puppet to Putin in Russia. He's a puppet. He done sold his soul to the people who've been giving him all that money all these years. Donald Trump ain't really loyal to nobody but Donald Trump. But he fears Putin. And they sent him a message when they did that number on that man and his daughter there in Great Britain, in the UK. See? So, you know, the devil, he frightens his friends into doing what he won't done. You see? You see how scared Manafort is. And the rest of the fellas that's been in bed. What make you think if Manafort scared, Cohen scared, Cohen ain't scared of Trump. He's scared of the one who controlled Trump. Do you understand? You know, but They don't know how dangerous, well, this country can be the most dangerous country on it if they choose to be. You're going to learn what side your bread buttered on. You keep on. But anyway, we live in a, as the book say, perilous times. That's what time you living in now. Perilous times, dangerous times. And if you want to be safe, you better get yourself behind me. And you better get there quick and stay there. So, but anyway, now just talking about you with me, that ain't gonna get it. You gotta be righteous. You got to be in these classes, learning, hearing what I say, and doing it. Am I clear? Okay, be not hearers of the word only, but doers of it. I know it's people from Arabia and different places that know something about the table talk of Prophet Muhammad. They call it hadiths. But Prophet Muhammad said that on the day of resurrection or day of judgment, if you are happy to meet Allah, Allah is happy to meet you. If you dislike the meeting with Allah, Allah dislikes the meeting with you. And that is because, as I was telling one of the believers today, you go and draw a pool, a tub of water, or put some in your face bowl or whatnot. Bathtub be easier. And I tell you what you do. You put a frown on your face. And then look down there in that water. And see that water is frowning back at you. Huh? You put a smile on your face and look right down there in that water, and that water smiling back at you. Look just like a reflection of yourself. The messenger, he taught us this. We used to be talking sometime, and a brother might walk up, and brother sharp, got a new suit or something on, and said, haircut nice and looking sharp. Said, brother, man, you clean as the bowl of hell. And the brother would say, just a reflection of yourself, my brother. And we learned that from the messenger. If you complimented him, he would say things like that. That I'm just a reflection of yourself, brother. Well, remember, Jesus referred to the word as living water. Jesus, when he met the woman at the well and asked her for some water, and she had a little conversation with him and said, how is it that you, being a Jew, ask water from a Samaritan? And the Samaritans have no dealing with the Jews. And Jesus said to her, he said, woman, he said, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that's asking you for water, you would have asked him for water, and he would have given you living water where you would have thirsted no more. The woman said, give me this water because I'm tired of coming back and forth to this well. She didn't know he was talking about the word. So Jesus referred to the word as living water. Now remember now, what Prophet Muhammad said, that if you meet Allah on the day of resurrection or the day of judgment, and you are happy to meet him, he's happy to meet you. If you are not happy to meet with him, he's not happy to meet with you. Why? The word is living water. And look what it said. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. I don't know if you've noticed, but I greet people like they greet me. Man come in here, hey man. I say, yeah, what is it? What? I hear your tones. And I reflect right back to you what you did, what you brought to me. Like I said, I know who I am. You the one don't know what's going on. All of them told me who I am. Took me a while to accept that. But now I accept the fact that I am the Lord. And that's you know, I ain't got no apologies to make to you for being the Lord. So you can either profit by my presence or be destroyed by it. But either way, it's that. There's the old saying that hide and go seek. Ready or not, here I come. We told you we're going to send Elijah before the coming of this day. Elijah came. So now, so just as you meet me and you happy, you notice, you ask anybody that ever told me they were so pleased to meet me, and I told them, well, I'm pleased to meet you. I'm not hard to get along with. But as far as some of the things that I see going on, well, time for wickedness has run out. All of you are on grace now. You had better take advantage of the fact that you are on grace. Grace is an extension of time to give you a chance to get out from under the death sentence. Suit yourself. All right. So I want to let you hear something else here. Now, this is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling you some things that you need to know. All right.
None of us takes it for granted that the Holy Quran is something inferior to the Bible. The only inferior part is that it came after the Bible. And the Bible went before the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran is not always the Bible, but it verifies what is written in the Bible. And the Bible verifies what is written in the Quran. They are not two enemy books. They are two books which verify each other. In the Bible,
Now, I need to show you proof of that. Because he said that if the God of truth will not defend our truth, what does that mean? If the God of truth will not defend our truth, and the author of wickedness and liars are going to triumph over the truth, then it'd have been better that we believed in lying. If the liar is going to triumph over the truth, then what did he mean when he said, if the God of truth will not defend our truth? Say what? No, it's gotta be stronger than that. Remember, Allah made the covenant through the prophets. And he told them, he said, then a messenger will come to you. Doing what? When you defend something, you verify it, that it's true. So the messenger said the Holy Quran verifies the Bible. I'll show you an example. Well, all these people run around here talking about they believe in the Bible, but they don't believe in the Holy Quran. They don't realize you're making a hypocrite of yourself. The Holy Quran verifies that the Bible is true. Now, how you don't believe in the Holy Quran? The Holy Quran, the Bible says this. This is the 12th chapter of Ecclesiastes. And I'm going to start at the 11th verse. Well, let's start at the 10th verse. I ain't never really went into it that deep with you. Wasn't necessary. It's still not. But to show you, it says the preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. Think over that. That's why you hear the prophets, all of them say from time to time, it is written, man. Huh? I'm going to remind me to go back to why it says it's written. Because, you was told don't make no graven images. But anyway, let's go back here. It says, the words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies. Who are the masters of assemblies? We sent no messenger, but that he should be what? Be obeyed? Sound like a master to me. Huh? If the messenger of God walks into any assembly, he the master. Huh? Okay. It says the words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. You notice all of them gave credit. Remember, Jesus picked up the book of Isaiah and turned to the place where it's written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And he told him after he read that little quip, he said, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your hearing. Even though The prophets were many, and they brought revelation that connected to one another. The words was all the words of the Lord. I didn't hear you. All right. One shepherd. David said it just as plain. He said, the Lord is my shepherd. Is that what he said? All right, then. Of course, David was the shepherd for many other people. Jesus said, the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath day. He the one that the day will be holy to. Because he come to do the will of God on earth. You know what you've been praying for? Jesus taught you to pray, thy will be done on earth as it is written in heaven. Yeah. Okay. Now, it says, and further, this is the 12th verse. Look how Solomon talking to somebody here. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Remember, the child is put up under tutors, even though he the Lord. He's as a servant, as long as he's a child. So you see, as they said, for unto us a child is born. And they talk to me like fathers talk to their sons. So it says, and further, by these, my son, by what? By the words of the wise, given by the masters of assemblies. By these, my son, be admonished. When a messenger of God says something to me, he is telling me to make sure that I accept their admonishment, their correction, their guidance. And so you notice whenever people start quoting scriptures to me, I shut up and listen. I ain't like you. No. I don't try to change it. I accept what they say. But I understand what they're saying. Anyway, it says, and further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. Of making many books, there ain't no end to that. That's why you go all over America and all over the world, and you find depositories full of lies. Let every man be a liar. That's what the book said. It said, let God only be true, and every other man be a liar. Huh? So they call the place where they put their lies, they call them libraries. You ain't even never thought about it until I brought it up. Why they don't call it a book repository? Why library? Because that's what's in there. Let God be true. And every other man be a liar. So if making many books, come on. Ain't no end to it. It's because it ain't creating nothing. In order for something to have an end to it, it's got to have a beginning, a foundation. So It says, and much study. When you study all them lies, only thing happens is you get sleepy. Is that right? I know it's right. Much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. You hear people say, I don't know what my purpose is. Can you tell me my purpose? I take them right over to the word of God. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Your purpose is to keep your duty. I know you. Do I get any argument from anybody? You know, they got a song in church. I like that song too. It says, if I had 10,000 hands, I would use them just to lift his name. Now think about that. I will use whatever I have to obey God, however he want me to use it. That's where your body is. You got feet, right? What they for? To be used however you want to use them. If you want to kick with them, can they say, I ain't going to kick? Do they say, well, I was just made to walk on. I don't know what you're kicking for. No. I use you for whatever I want to use you for. To fear God and keep his commandments. In other words, do his will. This is the whole duty of man. We've heard people use this term. Your wish is my command. Your wish is your will. I thought you didn't believe in Islam. Sound like you saying entire submission to God's will is your command. Oh yeah, you know what Islam is. You just rebellious. But you ain't gonna get away with it much longer. Your rebellion is not acceptable. The first thing I did was shut your mouth and knock down all the arguments that you thought you had against submission. Then when you claim you believe in the word of God, then I show you that your whole duty is to fear God and keep his commandments. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad just told you that the Holy Quran verifies what's written in the Bible. Huh? In the second chapter of the Holy Quran, it starts off, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I, Allah, am the best knower. This book, there is no doubt in it, is a guide, a study guide to those who keep their duty. The Bible tell you what the duty is. It's a guide, a study guide to those who fear God and keep his commandments. he also said that the Bible verifies the Holy Quran. So, the Holy Quran says of itself, let's see here. Let's see. This is in chapter 6. And just a moment. In chapter 6, and the 90th, let's go to the 80. I'll tell you in a minute. Let's go to this is the 89th verse. It says, Allah will not call you to account for that which is vain in your oaths, your little small talk and slip of the tongue, but he will call you to account for the making of deliberate oaths. So its expiation is the feeding of 10 poor men with the average food you feed your families with. He know how selfish they are, so he gave them something that he knew they didn't want to do. So they go that's to keep them from doing stuff. They ain't stop lying. Oh, I'm sorry. I said chapter 6, didn't I? All right. Let's go to chapter 6. I don't know how I missed that. Somebody been studying. How did you know what chapter I was in? Because you done read it before, huh? All right. That's good, brother. In chapter 6, and it says in the 89th verse, these are they to whom we gave the book and authority and prophecy. Well, let's go to the 88th verse so you'll know what he's talking about. This is Allah's guidance, wherewith he guides whom he pleases of his servants. And if they had associated others with him, all that they did would have been vain. These are they to whom we gave the book and authority and prophecy. Therefore, and it named them up above there. You see Elijah and all of them, you know. You wouldn't know about them if you hadn't read the Bible. So maybe I better go on back up and read it to you. Go to the 83rd verse. It says, prophets among Abraham's descendants. And this was our argument which we gave to Abraham against his people. We exalt in degrees whom we please. Surely thy Lord is wise and knowing. And we gave him Isaac and Jacob. Each did we guide. And Noah did we guide before. And of his descendants, David and Solomon and Job and Joseph and Moses and Aaron. And thus do we reward those who do good to others. And Zacharias and John and Jesus and Elias, each one of them was of the righteous. And you don't believe in the Quran, huh? The Quran believes in the Bible. I hear you. Oh, let's go further. Didn't the messenger say that they are books that verify each other? It said, and Ishmael and Elisha and Jonah and Lot. You wouldn't know nothing about Jonah or Lot if you ain't never read the Bible. And each one of them we made to excel the people. And some of their fathers and their descendants and their brethren. And we chose them and guided them to the right way. That is Allah. That is Allah's guidance. The right way is Allah's guidance. The instruction in righteousness. Instruction in the right way to live life. That's Allah's guidance. It says, wherewith he guides whom he pleases of his servants. And if they had associated others with him, all that they did would have been vain. These are they to whom we gave the book and authority and prophecy. Therefore, if these disbelieve in it, we have indeed entrusted it to a people who are not disbelievers in it. There ain't no such thing as a prophet who disbelieved in the messages that Allah gave him. Even though the people that the books was delivered to didn't believe in the books. Yeah, sitting up running around here talking about they God's chosen people. You wish. Talking about the Jews is God's chosen. No, the Jews were God's chosen people. And each one of them was picked one by one. We were built with hewn stones. Every messenger of God, they came one after the other. One behind the other. Huh? And God chose them. He called them, he chose them, and they were faithful. They were called and chosen and faithful. The chosen people of God are the ones that you call prophets and messengers. Those are his chosen people. Everybody else is just his people, period. The earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. Everybody belong to him. Many are called to righteousness, but few were chosen to guide to it. The few were called and chosen to guide the many, to call you to righteousness. Many are called by the few who were chosen. Do you understand? Then it says, these are they whom Allah guided. So follow their guidance. Say, I ask you not for any reward for it. It is not but a reminder to who? A reminder of what? The Bible came before the Holy Quran. And when you read the Holy Quran, it reminds you of what the Bible said. So it's a reminder. Didn't Jesus say this gospel must be published to all nations for a witness? Well, it's a reminder. The Holy Quran is a reminder of what's in the gospel to the nations. Do you understand? You notice ain't nobody disagreeing with me. Now, what about what he said about the Bible reminds you of the Holy Quran? Over in Malachi, the 3rd chapter and the 16th verse, it says, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. A book of remembrance. What are you doing when you remind somebody of something? If you reminding them of something, ain't you bringing something back to their remembrance? The Holy Quran is the reminder. It's the book of remembrance. These books verify each other.
It reads there. To the Bible. The only thing there about it is that it came after the Bible. And the Bible went before the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran is not only the Bible, but it verifies what is written in the Bible. And the Bible verifies what is written in the Quran. They are not two enemy books. They are two books which verify each other. In the Bible, it reads there, when you open it, the first page of the chapter 1 in the Bible, of Genesis. It says there that in the beginning, right? In the beginning of what? We must get these hidden truths understandable. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Well, when was that? See, that's all you have there. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. What beginning? You should set aside this, so that we will know when the beginning was. You leave us to argue with you there. But if you would say it like this, God created the heaven and the earth. And don't say in the beginning, because you didn't finish that up. That if you...
Now, see, what he just said there misleads a lot of people.
I am happy to stand before such intelligent group of people as you have been here this afternoon. You have been so honored this afternoon that some people in Dallas the brother will take you upstairs, he says, and then he will take you through. Yes. This brother here, like that he has been with us before. Yes. He's saluting us. Go right upstairs, the brother will show you the way up there. This makes an intelligent person out of you to go and accept your heart. You have already accepted the devil. What you have is the devil. And if you like to go along with the devil, there's no objection. We don't object you going to the God that you believe in. But we hope when the day comes that all this put you in the middle of hell, that reject God. Not on the outskirts of it, but drop you right over in the middle of the lake of fire.
Now remember now, he's not the only one that said that hell was in the power of somebody to put you there. But the Holy Quran says, cast into hell every ungrateful, rebellious one. Didn't it? But, you know, before you can call somebody ungrateful, you have to first show them that what you doing is beneficial for them. You understand? People been lied to so much. There's so many liars out here claiming they from God. Look at this Jim Jones and David Koresh and Doe and all of these, Jimmy Swaggart, Joel Osteen, Billy Graham. All these people been out here, the 700 Club. All these people been out here lying in the name of God for a long time. And people done got very calloused. Coming up to somebody talking about God sent you, and people, the first thing out of person mouth, here come another one of them niggas talking about God sent you. People didn't used to talk like that. People used to think that people wouldn't lie and say God sent them when he didn't. So now I decided that, you know, I mean, I decided to give you the opportunity to examine me. Certainly, if I'm not what I claim to be, you ought to find all kind of discrepancies in things that I say. It's just like that man called Royal. Somebody, he went all over the universe. Some scientist came, took him all over the universe. I mean, anybody with an ounce of understanding that have been to school in this country knows that had to be a lie. Ain't no walls in space. Whatever direction you go in, if you go in a straight line, you won't be back. And how you done went all over the universe? So I didn't even waste my time talking to him about that. I said, well, he's talking to these crazy folks. Somebody who don't know the nature of the universe. But anyway, but listen to what the messenger said. He said, I hope Allah won't miss throwing you over in the middle of the lake of fire.
Our salvation comes to you and you reject it for the fire. Don't make no mistake. It be the will of Allah. I won't make no mistake. Because I am supposed to be designed by Allah to help push you into hell like Moses helped push Pharaoh into hell.
You hear that? He said he was supposed to be designed by Allah to help push you into hell. And he told you what hell is. He said misunderstanding is the hell to man. And if you took what he said about Genesis in the beginning and ran with it, then you've misunderstood what it says in Genesis. You see, in order to understand Genesis, you have to understand what's prophesied to come. The prophets said, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought we to be? That's over there in 2 Peter, ain't it? 2 Peter, around the 3rd chapter. It says, the 11th verse. It says, the 10th verse. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. You notice, you done made coffee before, ain't you? You took that granulated sugar and put in there? Or you put powdered cream in coffee once? Coffee mate or whatnot? What did you expect that sugar and that coffee mate to do in that coffee? Dissolve, huh? Yeah. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Huh? Then it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be? In all things, holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for what? New heavens and new earth, wherein what? Well then, he that sitteth on the throne said, behold, I make all things new. Huh? Well, how are you going to make something new? What happens when you go to make something? You first got to think it up. You can't make something new if you don't first think about something new. Is that right? And as you thinking up stuff, then that's called creation. And since I am the beginning of the creation, as it's written, I am the beginning and the end. I am the author and the finisher of the faith. Well then, in the beginning, the truth created the heaven, the new heaven and the new earth. Do you understand? Now, it sounds like the messenger contradicting that, don't it? But he ain't. He gonna come right back to it in a minute and tell you that God himself is the beginning.
I'm in the same position of that, and you will find it in the Bible. And so when you tie me down,
Oh, wrong one. Just a moment.
As you had said, in the beginning, which was about so long and so long, because it had a beginning. There is nothing before us nor behind us what didn't have a beginning.
Did you hear that? What is the birth record of the said Nation of Islam? The said Nation of Islam has no birth record. It has no beginning nor ending. There's nothing before or behind us what didn't have a beginning. We used to say didn't nobody know, but there was a beginning. Then why did he say that the Nation of Islam has no beginning nor ending? Because the Nation of Islam, he was laying the foundation for it. And the Nation of Islam couldn't begin until the Lord himself come here and start giving instructions. I am the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord. Do you understand?
We used to say, nobody knows. That's not right. That's already a beginning. If God was not the very beginning of what house you have, then who was it before him? Because he was the beginning himself.
There you go. As he told you. He's the beginning himself. And I am the beginning. And in me was created. In the beginning, the truth created the heaven and the earth. That's right. Created what heaven and earth? The new one. The one that I'm here to bring about. The one that ain't going to be no more killing on. The one ain't going to be no more people eating out of garbage cans. The one ain't going to be no more racists and bigots and liars. So I'm here with the truth. And I want all of you to know this, that if you want to be right, I'm here to help you be right. Yeah, and it don't make no difference what color your skin is. And that don't mean we about to start doing away with the races either. RACES, not RACISD, but RACES. We're not here to do away with the races. We want to keep all of them around, just like all the colors in the rainbow. Which one would you get rid of? Then it won't be sunlight no more. It'll be a different kind of light. I'm not interested in getting rid of white people. I'm not interested in getting rid of brown or yellow people. And all of the people who have been produced from them and black people mixing with each other. Now we got all these different races of people. And we done found out how much talent we got in the human fabric. And I want to keep all of it. Don't want to lose none. So now everybody needs to just have a mansion to themselves. In my Father's house, or what? Many mansions, many countries. And if it was not so, I would have told you that I go to prepare a place for you. Because you need to first study yourself. You need to learn what your capabilities are, what your talents are, and how best to learn that than to get somewhere to yourself. And then you interact with each other on whatever talents one is better at, then we'll just let them do that. for the rest of us. And we'll interact with each other, and we will specialize like the parts of our bodies. The heart has a specific job. The liver has a specific job. The lungs have a specific job. And they in the same body, but they are different in location. We can be on the same planet, and we are on the same planet, but we'll be in different locations, and we can help one another. We can use our talents to benefit humanity. So Gene Roddenberry, he was a visionary. I remember once I was looking at Star Trek, and they was offering them some. This little fella had he was able to make planets, but he was a child and had took on human form, and his parents let him go out and check himself out a little bit, and he captured the Enterprise. And he studied up on the earth, but he studied up on medieval times. And he thought that the captain and all of them would be happy to get a bunch of jewels and rubies and diamonds and all that. So he made a bunch of that and offered it to him. And he told him, we don't do that no more. These things are worthless to us. We don't fight over these kind of things anymore. Is it? But anyway, just a little peek into the future. The things that people used to value, we just won't value that no more. We value human beings. We value knowledge and wisdom, understanding. Because in an infinite universe, how much knowledge is enough? No. In order to really study the universe, you must honestly understand that the possibilities are limitless. The minute you start thinking that things are impossible or whatnot, you have limited your intelligence and your ability to learn, because you think that there are limits, and there are no limits. One day we really will know how to turn matter into energy. Even though in Star Trek, they do it with the replicators and food, stuff like that, and the holodeck and whatnot. But we truly will learn how to transform matter into energy and vice versa. As it's written, with God, all things are possible. The only thing that's impossible for us is that which we cannot conceive. You notice, once a woman has conceived, it's inevitable. She's going to bring forth that baby in 9 months. Conception is the hardest part. Once the idea is conceived, the idea of flight was conceived, now you're flying. Everything starts with a concept first. So we have to, it's just like people, they think that I'm not worthy to be listened to. I'm more worthy to be listened to than most people on this planet. You know why? Because I have a firm root in reality, as well as spiritual things. In the natural world, they talk about Donald Trump done built a lot of. Donald Trump ain't built nothing. He paid people to build stuff for him. He ain't built none of that. I built this building. You got the record of what I did over there in that school. I'm not just running my mouth. The greatest gift that Allah gave me was poverty. Because in poverty, you can either choose to beg, or you can learn how to do construction and learn how to build, and you can do a whole lot with a very little resource in the way of finances. Because the majority of the cost of buildings is in paying labor. You see? So Allah let me be poor, so I'd have to learn how to do stuff. So I know how to do things now. That's why I can tell you, you give me a little and I will give you a lot. Like the earth. The earth is like that. You give the earth one seed, it gives you back a tree full of that same thing that you planted, that seed. Now you got a whole orchard from one seed. And it's even the things that I show you, no one else could show you these things. And I'm not interested in just us alone having decent homes and everything while everybody else suffering. If that's the kind of heart you got, I don't even want you with me. We done seen the kind of world that produced. We done seen the results of that. I'm not interested in duplicating that. People love wealth so much that they will drug their own children and then tell themselves, well, that's them. That ain't their neighbor. They don't realize that your neighbor is yourself. Why you think you was told to love your neighbor as yourself? It's because we all are the same family. The human family of the planet Earth. But you're so small-minded that you haven't even taken the time to learn the lesson of the little science class that you had in junior high school, where they opened up, it showed you the little model of a human body. And you see the heart is one color, the liver is another color, the pancreas is another color. It's all in the same body. Even the brain that you got is two different colors. Gray matter, white matter. You got your blood cells. The red ones take oxygen to the whole body. And the white ones go to and fro, up and down, looking for something to attack. Protecting the body. I guess if you had your way, you'd get rid of all your white cells and think you done did yourself a favor. No, you don't understand life, man. or you get rid of your, haven't you seen what happened with leukemia? Ain't that what the white cells attacking the red ones? You killing yourself. You about some stupid people thinking that you're going to live by killing the black man. You talk about George Washington Carver and over 300 things he did with just a peanut. Just think what he could have did if you hadn't treated him as a subhuman person and had made available to him everything that was available to white people. Just think what he could have showed you. With your selfish, bigoted self. And you're a coward. You know, if you was honest and would come in here and have a real honest conversation with me, I could save you. But you do all your big talk when you get in a crowd of your peers who all of them look like you and all of them already agree with you because you can't really justify your position. If I was standing up here lying, I'd probably be doing like you doing. Just get somewhere in a little dark corner somewhere and find people that don't question me and don't argue with me about what I'm saying. But I'm not afraid to stand up in front of the whole world and say what I say. And I will take questions and arguments until you are satisfied that I know what I'm talking about. Now, how many other men do you know that's willing to do what I'm doing? The book says he is one, and there is none like him. That's talking about me. I don't know no other men like me. Do you? And Allah said that. He said, I'm going to create a mortal. A mean one. He didn't say I'm going to create some mortals. He said, I'm going to create a mortal, and I will be to him a father, and he will be to me a son. That's right. So I'm so thankful. I'm thankful that you finally got it in your head to really listen to what I'm saying and recognize that I'm not your enemy. Yes, I'm mad about what Donald Trump doing, but I don't hate Donald Trump. I just hate what he doing. I tell him, look, you ain't got to fear what them people threaten you with, man. Trust in Allah and let Allah decide on whether or not you need to live or not. When somebody is repenting, understand something. It don't make no difference what you did. When you make it up in your mind that you're going to stop wrongdoing and obey God, immediately he forgives you and he protects you. Do you understand? Long as you ain't trying to run game. If you for real, you ain't got to worry about somebody, what they talking about they going to do to you. They ain't going to do nothing to you. Don't nothing happen on this planet without Allah's permission. I tell you what, Have you ever got a scratchy throat and all of that kind of thing? You said, feel like I'm coming down with something. And then the next day you was all right. That ever happened to you? You know why you was all right? Because even when you didn't know that something had invaded your body, your brain knew. Your autoimmune system sensed it and dealt with it. Don't nothing happen inside of you that your body, your brain, and all of that is not designed to check out. Well, not a leaf falls to the earth, but he knows it. So don't be afraid of what these people are threatening you with. Be afraid to be on the wrong side of the word of God. That's what you be afraid of. As Jesus told you, I tell you who to fear. Don't fear them that can kill the body, and after that, there ain't nothing they can do. I tell you who to fear. Fear him that after he hath killed, have power to cast into hell. When somebody can kill your mind and then leave you like that, that's the one you better be scared of. Do you understand? You are aware that the only reason you can go to work and come home is because you can remember to do so. What happens if your mind gets to the point where you can't remember? Haven't you ever went back in the house to get something and forgot what you came in there for? That's Allah's way of showing you the truth of what I just said. You ain't got no win against the Lord of the worlds. The day for closing one eye to wickedness and to spiritual things, that day gone. You know what a wink is, don't you? A wink is a temporary closing of one eye. I'm not one-eyed. As Prophet Muhammad told you, the Antichrist, he one-eyed. Only thing he understands is natural stuff. He said, but your Lord is not one-eyed. He told you that. So, as the white boy pointed out, Prophet Muhammad was walking around the Kaaba, and every time he got in front of that stone, he said, Allahu Akbar, and pointed to that stone. Huh? Because he knew he wouldn't see me, so he pointed to the sign that represented me. So, and if I'm not the greatest, let me see you produce an argument against anything I've said. I know you can produce insults. Now let me hear you produce an argument. You know, babies come here able to boo-boo on their own. They don't need no help to boo-boo. Do you understand? You makes boo-boo. That's why they say boo-boo just happens. Is that right? Well, let me hear you produce an argument against things that I say. I'm not just talking to the people in America. I'm talking to y'all all over the world, all over the earth. How many times, like I said, you know, the British, the UK, I ain't got no dog in the hunt against them either. You know, I hope they don't break up what they call that Brexit stuff. I hope they do stay united. But you know, they let division just kind of remind me of that that nursery rhyme they gave us when I was little, Humpty Dumpty. And in the first place, the egg intelligence should have taught him you don't sit up on the wall knowing how fragile you are. Huh? And he fell. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again. That don't mean it was impossible. It just said all the king's horses and men couldn't do it. But that which can't nobody else save, the Son of Man come to save. Do you understand? I don't see it as impossible. You remember, you notice in the most people, they don't understand the symbolism of Doctor Who. But Doctor Who done got pretty sophisticated. You notice Doctor Who is the protector of the earth. You see? In other words, he's the savior of the earth. And they call him Doctor. And you notice they have his means of going wherever he goes is a telephone booth. Like where I'm talking through telephone all over the earth. But anyway, and why they call him Doctor Who? It's because don't nobody know who the Son is. Well, who is it? He's Doctor Who. And he's a Time Lord. He's the last of the Time Lords. Why? Because he's the Lord of the Sabbath day, of a particular day and time. That's talking about the Son of Man. And yet, I was way back then. Remember now, Doctor Who then changed forms, you know, quite a few times, right? And, you know, but it's the same mind, just a different body, right? As you did it to the least of those, my brethren, that was me. Well, you don't really want to, you think you want to fight with me. You don't want to fight with me. Because that ain't no fight. In order for it to be a fight, you have to stand a chance to win. The scripture says, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow before me, and every tongue shall confess unto God. God is the truth. You see how everybody's tongue is still? Ain't nobody saying I lied about nothing. Ain't nobody arguing with nothing I say. What does that tell you? Every tongue shall confess to the truth I speak. And in a world full of people who pride themselves in boasting on their degrees, huh? They ain't got no degree to equal the one I have. So I talk like that to provoke people. I used to provoke them. They don't learn that I can back up what I say. I don't just say things and hope can't nobody catch me in what I said. I know what I'm saying. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't know it. You the one always talking what you don't know. Then getting mad when somebody stop you to question you about it. Come on, you cutting me off. Ain't nobody cutting you off. You're asking you questions about what you just said. I was told that did the president say he was going to open up the government till February? Oh, that's good. If you don't say it, I'll say it. Thank you, President Trump. Yes. You know, I still don't appreciate how you've been conducting yourself, but I appreciate the fact that you went on and did that for the people. And, you know, there's a way out for you. You know, I don't ain't nobody interested in just dragging stuff out. All of you all who in the government that's done been taking graft and whatnot, just resign, man. And I would say to the FBI, let them go on and resign and save face. The American people don't need to know all of that. You know, all that dirty laundry. And, you know, just let's go on and put ourselves back together. You know, but if you want to keep dragging this thing out, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna win. Allah gonna take your mind from you. I'm warning you. It's like them people who walked Dr. Cosby into an ambush and whatnot. Them lawyers that was representing him, they was, you know, the first ones, they sold that man out. You don't let people accuse you, and he's a famous man, and don't sue and make them prove their allegations. For the two I talked to, they recanted. They said that, I mean, that Christine Ruley said that man ain't raped her. But that's what they started off saying, that he raped them. No, you did that man wrong, and you paying for it too. Then the ones who really did do wrong to people, now that start coming out. Huh? You know, the man that's president right now, you remember what he said? He said, when you're a celebrity, you can grab them by the genitals. And they let you. Y'all, that ice you skating on is melting. Oh, I'm telling you, y'all better cut this stuff out. All this wrongdoing, you better cut it out. Hurting people just because you can. Taking people's babies from them and shipping them off somewhere, and no accountability at all. You're gonna answer for that. You mark my words. You're gonna answer for every bit of it. And you know the kicker? Most of them that's doing that to them people's children got children themselves. Like I said, you know, you better learn to leave people alone. You better stop doing to other people what you would not have done to yourself. You better cut that stuff out. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Okay. Keep on. There's a lot of things that I want to bring to your attention. But I'll wait and save it for when we can really get into it. Now, some of you had questions that you might have wanted to ask me, when you was just sitting down thinking and wondering before I start teaching. Well, I know you probably don't have no question on nothing I done said, because I takes too much time explaining what I mean by what I say. That's why I don't hardly leave no questions. Now, some of you got time, you want to ask me other questions, feel free to do so. I won't accuse you of changing the subject, because I finished the 2 subjects that I wanted to share with you. And so you are. Oh, it's one other thing that as I was looking at some of these shows that they have on. There was one came on called Syriana. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Syriana. And man, they really gave up some the kind of world that we've been living in. Remember, the scripture says that by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. That a man is known by whose works? By his works. Huh? If you want to know what kind of man any man is, go to his history and see what he has done. Huh? Yes. You see? And so, as I was looking at this little clip of Sirianni here, I thought about how they was explaining, and they did it again and again. They did it on that clip I showed you from Shooter, where the fella told him, ain't no Shiites, ain't no Sunnis and Shiites. It's just us. It's just the haves and the have-nots. And it's only enough seats at the table for it's only so many seats will fit around the table to cut that pie. In so many words. Now, are you in or out? That's what he told him. I say, well, go ahead and tell the truth there. See, in this world, most people don't understand. In order for some to be rich and have power, who are mostly unworthy of power, They have to keep people hungry and in want. Like Jacob got Esau to sell him his birthright because Esau was hungry. Huh? So Jacob told him, okay, I'll give you something to eat. Just sell me your birthright. And he did it. That's just a story that when you leave yourself totally dependent on others to provide for you, you have no choice but whether you like it or not, you surrender your man and womanhood. You see? That's one of the things that they have taught us, at least I've learned from growing up in America, that freedom ain't free. It has a price. The price of freedom is you must do for yourself. You must be able to do for yourself. The minute you depend on others for your livelihood, for your food, clothes, shelter, then your freedom is taxed. Your freedom is limited. Do you understand? It's no accident that you can't hardly find seeds that will grow fruit trees and grow things, to reproduce. Like people used to have fruit trees in their yard. You can't hardly find no fruit trees in nobody's yard no more. You had to go buy oranges. Where when I was growing up, we had apricot tree, we had a peach tree, we had a lemon tree, we had fig tree, and we very seldom had to go, so far as buying those fruits. Because my mother did some canning of the peaches and stuff like that, plums and stuff. We had them trees in our yard. And now you don't hardly find them. Even when you get the seed from one, it don't reproduce. Everything has become commercial. And that's one of the reasons why many of us now, our health is bad. Because when you take the ability to reproduce out of any creature, you altering that creature. The Holy Quran says there is no altering Allah's creation. That is the right religion, but most people know not. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of us get sick and have sicknesses and diseases that we used to didn't have, because the things that we eat have all been altered. You don't know what all you messed up when you took that thing's ability to reproduce away. And then maybe you do. Maybe you have studied it and you just don't care. So, but anyway, in Syriana, this little clip here, it kind of tells you some things that it brings some things to mind that most people don't never pay attention to.
China. No, sir. Here? No, I tell you, no, sir. Corruption charges. Corruption? Corruption is government intrusion into market efficiencies in the form of regulation. That's Milton Friedman. He got a goddamn Nobel Prize. We have laws against it precisely so we can get away with it. Corruption is our protection. Corruption keeps us safe and warm.
And so I, you know, as I was watching it, I said, wow, this is really something. How, you know, they know it's all corrupt. You know, rich people get away with things that, I mean, they make the laws for the most part just to keep you from being able to do it. You know, I mean, this is a corrupt world. So I want you to just you know, everybody need to search themselves. We've all been wicked. It ain't a one of us that ain't been wicked. So Allah decided to forgive us all. And so now, let's start from here. You couldn't be righteous because you couldn't understand the instruction because it was sealed up. And, you know, but now, the righteousness that's written down here is now standing here talking to you. That's why the Holy Quran refers to the book as him. This is in the 6th chapter of the Holy Quran in the 20th verse. And in the 5th chapter of the book of John, it might be the 6th chapter. I'll tell you in a minute. I always try to give you that which will strengthen you. So this is chapter 6 of John. Now in the 6th chapter of the Quran and the 20th verse, it says, those whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their sons. Now you understand why Solomon, he said, and further, my son, by these things be admonished. Right? Those who have lost their souls, well, they will not believe. They will not believe in the Son of Man. That's what the book is telling you. The Son of Man is the book. Like the doctor. Before the doctor became flesh, the doctor was the book. Then they put the book in the head of the student, and the student became one with the book, and the student became the book in the flesh. Do you understand? Before me, no one was able to open these books. But because I was the one that Allah had allowed us to go in slavery to produce, when it was time, he sent Elijah to open the book for me. And so the book was sealed up. So I'm the one that Allah sealed, as the Holy Bible says in the 27th verse of that 6th chapter. It says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. Remember he said, seal up the book? Well, I am the book. And as long as the book was sealed up, I was dead, mentally and spiritually. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave me life. And he fed me with the knowledge of myself, which is the Holy Scripture. And that's what Master Farad Muhammad said he came for, to teach the black man the knowledge of himself. The black man that God said he was going to create. And that's me. So, y'all, ain't that something? I've been standing up here teaching you for almost 3 hours now. And you ain't got no question. I need to give you a test. That's what my teachers used to say. So then I can give you a test there. But it ain't it nice to, ain't it a load off of you to know that you don't have to walk around looking at people and hating them because they ain't your color? Huh? Boy, that's a heavy load to try to, to just see somebody that ain't, you don't know nothing about them, it's just their color. And you got to hate them. You got to hate them. And if somebody asks you, why you got to hate me? Don't say nothing to me. I say, well, I'm just trying to figure out why you got to hate me. I don't know you. I ain't did nothing to you. If you get in a conversation with me, if a white man get in a conversation with me talking about he hate me, that's a legitimate question for me to ask him, why you hate me, man? I didn't come and steal you from your country. You came and stole me. I didn't enslave you. You did that to me. He run around here talking about black men raping white women. Ain't no black man had no nerve enough to rape no white woman in America. Who you think you putting some of everything that he that's called projecting. Everything he did to us, he accused us first. So he put you on the defensive. Yeah. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And he know long as you got to claim you didn't do something, you can't accuse him of doing something. Do you understand? That's a pretty, as he would say, neat trick. But it don't work with me. You see. Just like Janice Dickinson told on them when they were sitting up talking about, women, you don't know your power. Well, they told her she have, drug head coming out there, and she couldn't hold water, so she told what she heard them say. You have power. You just don't know your power. You can, all the white woman had to do is say a black man raped her. And he was a dead nigga. Huh? Especially if she got caught with him. She got caught with him, he raped her. So, you run around here. That stuff done got old now. Tired of being lied on. Tired of being lied to. And I'm definitely tired of being stepped on. And I'm warning you that it has consequences now. If you can't help me to help my people, you better leave me alone. I don't have to mistreat you in order for me to get up. I'm not going to mistreat you for me to get up. I didn't like it when you mistreated me to get up. You enslaved me to get where you are now. And then you lied and said you freed me because you knew I didn't know what freedom was. And even if it was some of us who might have known what freedom was, we were so scared of you that we wasn't going to say nothing, thinking that you might kill us if we, that's, but most of us didn't know what freedom is, no way. A man born in slavery, born serving somebody, and he's told that slavery is one thing, then you say, well, you free now. You ain't got to work for me no more. You on your own now, John. And he think that's freedom. When the one who setting him loose, letting him loose, knows that he ain't freed him. He didn't give him nothing to go free with. Didn't give him no land, didn't give him no tools, didn't give him nothing. Just told him, you go now. And he knew you was going to come back to him begging for a job, begging for something. He knew that. So I'm here to set you free indeed. We don't have to harm nobody to do that. And if you want to harm us for doing that, then Allah is with us to put a stop to you. So, if I had did to you what you did to me, I'd be asking you, how can I help you, man? So what I did was wrong. I wouldn't have wanted you to do that to me. So I'm not a person that's hard to get along with. You got my phone number. It's 601-786-1332. That's my cell phone. My landline is 601-786-9742. And any of you in the government of America, Caucasian people, even if you're not in the government and you want to help me, you can give me a call. And if you don't want me to say nothing, I won't say nothing about you helping me to help my people. But like I said, we just want our freedom. We want to know for the first time what it feels like to govern ourselves. We got a lot to overcome. I used to hear our people singing, "We shall overcome," but if you ask them, overcome what? They thought that meant we had to overcome white people. That ain't what we had to overcome. We had to overcome all of them devils inside our brain that we learned and was exposed to under white people. We got bad understanding about everything. And we got to overcome that. We got to overcome self-hatred. Can't stand to see each other with nothing. And that's more than a notion. You know, when you've been selfish and niggardly towards yourself and, you know, to try to overcome 400 years of that. That's more than a notion. And without Allah's help, we never will do it. But with Allah's help, we will be able to overcome. I can say that from experience. For I want to see you with something. I want to see my people living good. I want to see my people civilized and conducting ourselves in a civilized manner that we can be respected and accepted among civilized society, no matter where it's at on this planet. I don't want nobody feeling like they got to stand behind no bulletproof glass to deal with me. No. And I don't want no person who comes around me. I don't want you to ever feel like you are not safe. I don't want you to feel threatened or nothing by me. No. When people feel threatened by you, they feel like they need to protect themselves from you. And sometimes that's where that statement came from. Do it to them before they do it to you. If people think that you scheming against them and they are fearful, I know people scheme against me, but I'm not fearful because Allah is with me. He told me, don't be afraid. He said, they're not going to harm you. He said, I'm not going to let them harm you. So I don't have to go and try to plan nothing against you, try to harm you. I don't want to hurt nobody. I would much rather people be happy to see me coming, not hate or dread to see me. Because if all of the resources that's in the earth was under my authority in reality right now, I'd make sure everybody have everything they need. Sure would. So wouldn't cost you nothing but your labor. You know, the labor that we put in it together to get it. But as far as trying to, I don't want no system like this no more. So, I done had enough of capitalism, all this crazy socialism, all these things people call themselves adopting. I prefer Islam, where every member loves for his brother what he loved for himself. He loved his neighbor as he loved himself. That means treat others like you want to be treated. And when you know you need something for your family, don't you appreciate being able to get it? Well, then help others to get for their families too. That's the way they do that. It's just that simple. So, the right cure or medicine for our disease-ridden hearts is the word of God. The messenger said, the spirit of Allah. That is the word of Allah. The spirit is the word. As Jesus said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. See? And what does the spirit produce? It produces a spirit. It reproduces a spirit. The mind is spirit. And the mind is produced by words that go into the brain and stay there. So when we put the word of God in our brain, it produces a mind that is the child of that word. And we become the offspring of the word. And we become children of God. You know, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Yep. You notice, the more you listen to me, the less you feel like fighting anybody. You feel like maybe we can learn to get along with each other. Huh? Yeah. Certainly we can learn to get along with one another. We learned how not to get along. That's a learned response. That's something we learned to do. We learned to hate each other. We can learn not to. You know, generally, however you thinking about a person, especially if it's bad, you'll figure out a way to draw out of them what you thinking about them. That's just the way it is. You know, if you think, you know, you watch, you can tell sometimes people look at somebody and you can tell they're thinking evil about them. And then the person happened to catch you looking at them like that, and they said, what's wrong with you? And you know, now you drew that out of them just with a look. So, if you think good things about people, you'll start drawing good things out of people. So, let's try to practice that. So, I'm going to let you go. It's didn't nobody have no questions. I thank you for not insulting me, because we had enough of that kind of stuff. And I thank you for being patient with me and recognizing that I'm not here to do you no harm. So may Allah bless us all, and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's. Assalamu alaikum.
Your conference is ending.
Sister.